Good morning! We're so excited. Welcome to the first ever Live with Blitsy here on Facebook. I know there's a lot of people here, probably for the first time.
Yeah.
So we're going to introduce ourselves and what Live with Blitsy is. My name is Katie. I am one of the co-founders and the Chief Creative Officer here at Blitsy.com. If you're not familiar with Blitsy, we're one of the fastest growing online stores for craft supplies. We have 100% price match guarantee. Right. We have 40% off coupons all the time. We accept our competitors' coupons. Yeah. Free shipping on over $50. We ship to over 85 countries. So we do a lot here at Blitsy, including tons of fun videos and inspiration for all of those products we sell, which is where Megan comes in.
That's right. And for those of you that don't know me, I am the inspiration manager here at Blitsy. And like Katie mentioned, I take the products that we sell, turn them into projects, videos, blog posts, you name it, here to inspire. And to kick off the show today, we are actually going to have an interview with everyone's favorite, Ken Oliver. We're going to learn a little bit more about him. He's going to talk about some of his awesome new products. And in true Blitsy fashion, we are going to have a giveaway. And there's going to be a free workshop that Ken is going to lead. So
it's going to be very
going
cool.
on.
There's going to be lots of techniques using all of his new products, some of the products that you may already even have, and you'll learn some new things about them.
That's right.
But basically, this is a crafty talk show almost that we do weekly. We're trying it out here on Facebook to see how you like it. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking, if you have any questions and all of that. Speaking of that, we have Emily from our team who is manning the comments and will relay all of your questions to us. So this is all about you. Yep. If you want to see something, let us know. It's live. We can do it.
Interact, ask questions, and the more you interact, the more fun we're going to have.
Exactly. So let's go chat with Emily and learn about the giveaway.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Emily. Like Katie said, I'm going to be here on the chat, chatting with you, checking out any questions you have, comments. Let me know if there's anything you want to know more about, and I'll try and answer your questions or throw them to Katie, Megan, and Ken as they're going through the workshop this morning. I also will be sharing the products that we have for sale that we're showing off today, so if you find something you're interested, I'm going to throw the links out there so you can find it on our site super easy. We have a giveaway that Katie mentioned. It's going to be all of these products that are right here in front of me, some of his new stencils that he's showing, some artboard, water paper, some of his really popular color burst, and in addition to one of the pieces of art that he's going to be creating live today. I'm going to post a link to that giveaway so you can enter to win. It's really easy. That's going to be open for 24 hours, so make sure you enter it. We have a second giveaway that's going to be given away to somebody live here while we're broadcasting, and it's going to be another piece of art that he's creating. So make sure that you stick around and interact, and maybe you'll win today. So I think Katie is ready and all set up with Ken, so let's head over to them.
I am. I'm all set up with Ken Oliver.
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I think this is another milestone. Our first ever Live with Blitsy on our website. I think you were there, one of them. And then now we're first on Facebook, you're here.
It's so cool that we're live on Facebook.
It's so cool.
I'm loving it.
All right, so I know that a lot of Blitsy fans are already very familiar with you and what you do, but there's probably some people that are just being introduced. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm an artist, I think, and I live in southern.
We're all artists.
I live in southern Indiana, like on the Ohio River, in a really beautiful riverfront town that was like founded in 1803, and it's just beautiful there. And I love to paint, and I love to collage and create paper crafts, and that's kind of what I do. And I love making watercolors with color bursts. That's what we're going to do today. It's so awesome.
Oh, I cannot wait. So you have a really big product line now. It just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, we do.
What are some of your favorite items that you've been playing with right now that are part of your product line?
Well, some of the new things I'm so excited about are the new cut and color dies and stamps. They're fabulous. We're going to use those today in the workshop to make
Ooh,
those.
And someone's going to win this.
Somebody's going to win
signed
this.
by you, what we make today, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
you'll teach us how
we're
to
going
do
to
that?
do this. This is the workshop project we're going to make today.
Fun.
And the other thing that I love right now are new stencils. So I have a new line of stencils, and we're going to give this away on the broadcast today, and also a Get the stencil too.
Oh,
so
sweet.
like,
I love this cat stencil. I think everyone can relate to it somehow if you have a cat. Or
so like, I'm not even a cat person, and now all of a sudden, like, I'm loving cats. Because it's fun to paint this and to color it up with color burst, and it's really fun.
Yeah, very cool. So where can people find you outside of Blitsy? I know I follow you on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, on Instagram, Ken Oliver Crafts on Instagram. My blog and website is Ken's World in Progress.
Okay.
Because it is always a work in progress.
True that.
And so like I'm out there all the time. I've got videos on YouTube, less on YouTube, but mostly on Facebook. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook on Ken Oliver Crafts.
Okay, he's fun to watch, you guys. He has great adventures. It's living on the riverfront.
Right.
It's like you kind of want to be there.
And plus, I travel all over the world,
Yeah.
you know, in my job. So I've been to Japan this year, and Germany, and England,
And you do lots of workshops all around the world.
Yeah.
And today we're doing a free one.
Right,
so
it's free today.
Online. It's pretty awesome.
and it's exciting because this is normally a 3-hour workshop, and we're going to pack it in
Like
30
fast
minutes.
forward,
Right.
you'll get all the info that you need. Okay, so I'm going to let you get set up for the workshop. Emily, have we had any questions so far? What are people wanting to see while Ken's here?
I think people are really excited to see some new techniques for color bursts. We hear a lot that people have gotten them but haven't played with them yet, or are always looking for new ways to use them. So really excited to see that from Ken today. A lot of people excited, I think, about the cat stencil. I think that one's going to be really popular. I'm also hearing some people, I'll put this in the comments too, if anyone is having trouble hearing a broadcast, make sure that you've clicked into the broadcast and not just watching it on the regular feed. I'll make sure that goes in the comments. I added the giveaway into the comments, and I'll make sure I put that in there a couple more times so everyone can have the link to enter to win.
And we're here, you guys. As we mentioned before, we are going to have a live workshop here with Ken Oliver, and I see a ton of goodies that you brought along with you. So what are you going to share with us
I have
today?
a ton of goodies. We'll be working with cut and color dyes
Those
and
are
stamps.
gorgeous.
And I went ahead and cut some out and pre-colored them, but we'll do a little bit of that.
Perfect.
We're going to work with my mixed media boards. The mixed media boards are so cool because it's a
Oh, wow.
board that you can
That is solid.
Right, you can do mixed media on
Yeah.
it. It takes watercolor, it takes collage, it takes all inks, all kinds of
Magical board.
like liquid product, and it's high density,
That's
so it's not
awesome.
going to warp whenever you get it wet. So that's like really important. And
Yeah.
I like using this. Okay, so like there are mixed media boards that are wooden and
Yeah.
they're out there, and they might cost $10.
Yeah.
And I'm always afraid I'm going to mess something up. And so like then that becomes like the obstacle to me. Like I won't
Right.
work on the
Right,
$10 board.
'cause you don't want to ruin it.
So these are like a 3-pack is like really inexpensive.
Love it.
I'm not even sure, but it's like so I don't feel guilty.
It's affordable, so if
Right.
if it doesn't go as planned, no big deal, right?
No big
you
deal.
didn't
can put
spend a
something
ton of
over
money on it. I
so
love it.
we're going to work with that. We're also going to work with brand new Caribbean Brights
I love
color
those.
burst.
Those are so
Those
summer.
colors are so sexy. There's fuchsia and tangerine and chartreuse and turquoise. This turquoise is so dreamy. You're going to want to swim
Dreamy
in it.
and
It's-
sexy.
It's
All color
beautiful.
bursts, dreamy and sexy. I
And in
love
fact,
it.
today we're going to paint a turquoise sky.
You know, that's like my favorite color.
Is it?
Oh my god, I was gonna wear a turquoise necklace. I'm like, I'm always in turquoise. I'll do yellow, but I love turquoise. So.
Turquoise is fabulous.
I love turquoise.
We're going to work a little bit with liquid metals. If you haven't tried these yet, you have to get them. It's a way to add really beautiful, shimmery, metallic highlights to your watercolors and to your color burst art. And you know what? You can even use them like on, you know, like those resin pieces, like
Oh,
pieces
yeah,
of jewelry.
jewelry,
You can use
yeah.
it on that. You can use it on lots
I
and lots of
never
other
would have
things.
thought about that, but that's
Yeah.
an amazing way to
So
use
like
them.
whenever you combine like from the heavy metals, because we have like pewter and yellow gold and
Yeah.
verdigris, and we have iron oxide, you can get really, really intense metallic finishes on lots of mixed media or jewelry products.
Love that.
They're
and
very
so,
cool.
just looking at these work differently, right? The color bursts are water reactive, and these are ready to work with, right? You're
Right.
not adding water; those are already
These
ready
are
to go.
water reactive. These are also water reactive, but because this has like a particulate matter, like little metal flakes in it, or little like shimmery flakes,
Yeah.
it's already in a suspension. It's already in water. So to use that, really, you just shake it up and then add a couple of drops. And I'm going to do some of
Yes,
that.
I can't wait to see these in action.
So I want to get started
Let's get
because
started.
we have like this is a jam-packed
All right,
workshop.
let's get started.
I'm going to be working on one of my mixed media boards, and I have already gone ahead. I don't know if you can see this, but you see how I've
Yeah.
got some embossed
Little
images on there, some of my
butterfly.
stamps, and I did that so we'll have like a resist technique whenever I go to
yeah.
put watercolor on it.
I love it.
Okay, so it's going to like kind of stand out there. You see how the butterflies stand
Yeah.
out? But I went ahead and did that because I thought it would be faster to get that done. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just stencil a little bit of a background on here with color bursts.
Perfect.
And
And
I-
is this one of your stencils then?
This is one of the new stencils.
I love
This is
it.
a mandala stencil. But the way we're
So
going to
pretty.
position it on the mat board, it's going to look almost like a sunrise coming up behind the flowers.
Very
Okay.
clever.
So watch how cool this is. I'm going to just like tap the tiniest amount of color burst on this stencil.
It's all about the tapping, right?
Yeah, just the tiniest little amount.
And a little goes a long way.
A little goes a
I
long,
think the
long
first
way.
time I used color burst, I was kind of a little overzealous with my tapping, and I got color burst everywhere because I didn't realize that, like I said, a little goes a long
Right.
way. So that's a huge thing to keep in mind, right? Especially when you're working with these.
If you want to try something sometime, just to see like technique-wise,
Yeah.
you can take your color burst lid and just tap your lid off, and then spritz it with water, and look how much color comes out,
That's
because
a really
there
good
will be
tip.
a ton of color.
Yeah, especially if you've never worked with the color burst before, that's a really good tip because, until you kind of get the feel for how much you need and kind of the effect you're going to get, start off small and kind
Start off
of
small.
get the feel for, how much powder you're going to get and spritz and the effect you're going to get. So
you can
great
see,
tip.
I'm just like tapping a tiny little bit of powder
Just a little bit of powder.
all over my stencil, and I'm not making sure that it goes in every nook and cranny, because when I spritz this with water,
Yeah.
it's gonna the water's gonna help disperse it. So here's another tip.
Yes.
Always use a mist bottle that has an adjustable nozzle. Like that way, to
Yeah.
really get really fine disbursement of color, if you use a really fine mist, it's gonna make the color just explode
Love that.
on your paper. If you kind of drip like that,
Yeah.
it's gonna look
Kinda
drippy.
puddly
Right.
and- yeah.
So I'm going to use an adjustable nozzle, and I'm going to make sure that my mister.
Oh, look
you
at
see
you.
that very-
Yeah. You gotta
it's-
do the
I prime.
test first.
This is actually priming your pump.
Priming your
Because
pump.
there's a little pump in there, so you have to prime it to make sure you have that
I
mist.
like it.
It's almost like a cloud. Okay.
Just like a cloud. Just like a
So
cloud.
watch how cool this is going
All
to be.
right.
I'm just going to lightly
Let the
mist
magic
this,
happen.
and then it's going to just explode with color.
Look at that.
You see how
This is
cool
why
that
color
is?
burst is so amazing because you just did
So-
2 little
right.
spritzes there, and look at the masterpiece.
Now we've
you
made
have.
that beautiful background,
Love
and
that.
I'm going to come in now, and I'm going to do a watercolor wash over the top of this so you can
Okay.
see the butterflies. Now, I've got my water, and I keep my water in a jar with a lid.
Okay.
I have to have a lid.
Are you one of those people
'Cause
that
I'm-
flails?
yeah,
and,
I'm messy.
That's what I should do because I constantly am knocking things over because I have no spatial awareness, I guess. But that's
Right.
a good tip. To,
So I always keep a mason jar with a lid
That's-
to keep my water in.
that's a good tip because if you knock it over, you could ruin your whole masterpiece.
Right,
because
exactly. You can
it
get on
reacts
everything
with
on your
water.
desk.
Right.
So to do a watercolor wash, I'm just going to wash. Now, see, there's already some color here, but I'm going to wash water on top of this. And I'm just going to bring over water. Now, see, every paint has a vehicle. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
You know what that means? Like, every paint has to have something to move across the
Right,
canvas.
yeah.
So the vehicle with oil paint, what do you think it is?
Is it your paintbrush?
It's oil.
Oh, oil.
No,
Okay.
because it's the
You know
carrier.
what? I'm tired, okay? It's the carrier.
I know you got little babies. at
No,
home.
I'm like, we're running out of zero sleep, Ken. Don't
But
test me
so
on
like
it.
with oil, it's oil. With watercolor, it's
Water.
And so like I'm just putting water on here that's going to give my paint, my watercolor, a nice area to flow over. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, and you can see your butterflies.
Yeah, now they're kind of
resisting
popping
that color.
out.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to come in with some turquoise, and I'm only going to take a tiny bit of turquoise because I want this to be a turquoise sky.
Ooh, look at
And
that.
I'm just going to put some turquoise in there.
I love how it just kind of disperses. Just the color.
Yeah, you see it like moving across the
Yeah.
water. Now when I wash that, can you see those butterflies
yeah.
standing out?
God, that color is so vibrant.
I
Look at
love this turquoise.
that. So pretty.
So now you can kind of see them getting that going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to wash down around here just to finish off the edges.
Just a little,
Okay.
little finish. There you go.
And you're probably like, what in the world is Ken doing here?
Well, I'm wondering, are people enjoying this? Are they kind of crafting along with you? What's going on, Emily? Are people actually doing the workshop here live with us?
I'm not sure if anyone's actually doing it live with us, but they're definitely loving seeing these techniques, loving learning from Ken. Rita commented that she thinks kids would have fun with this. That's definitely true. I know Katie's niece had a party with Color Burst. It's really great for kids.
Kids love color bursts. In fact, yesterday I shared some photos on Facebook where a friend of mine had kids art camp, and they did color burst
fun.
paintings,
Oh my God,
and
I love that.
the paintings were fabulous.
And especially since it's the summer, keeping kids occupied. Grab yourself some color bursts, get crafty with your kids.
And it's really important to teach kids arts because
Yes,
those programs
I
are going
totally
away.
agree. I totally agree.
The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some liquid metals into that turquoise wash. And it's a tiny little bottle, and it's liquid, so you have to shake it up. So I'm going to move really fast now. I'm going to shake it up. Shake, 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 shake.
Shake, shake, shake.
And then
Shake,
watch
shake,
this. I'm just going to put a few drops of liquid metals in this. And whatever this is platinum.
That's really cool.
And can you see that, like, just like
Yeah.
moving across
I
there?
just think the effect, just like the dropping on there, looks so cool.
So then, because this is water reactive, I can go back in and I can move it around with my brush, and and so now we've made like a metallic
Yeah,
watercolor
look at that.
wash. It's so beautiful.
So pretty.
Now I want to get this dry, and I hope you'll pardon me because I'm going to get the little dryer out. And see, down here we've got like some, a little bit of stuff, but we're going to put flowers over this, and then that's going to look like a sunrise coming up.
So clever. Well, while you dry that, we're going to actually kick it over to Katie, who is also following you guys live on chat, and see what she's seeing, and if anyone has any comments or questions for Ken. So Katie, what's going on?
How cool is this little setup? I'm watching the comments flow through. Maggie, your biggest fan, is here, Ken.
Cool, hey Maggie.
We've had a few questions coming in, so I'm sure as we're going along, we'll get those answered. Everyone's saying that this is amazing, that it's so easy to do. Teresa said easy but simple and beautiful, so it's so fun watching all of you guys kind of interacting here. You can get the new stencils today. I saw Kathy just asked that. We will post the link as the next comment here. So there's 3 new stencils, 6x6. There's the cat, there's the landscape, and the mandala, right? So very, very cool. Someone's gonna win what Ken is making right now. So make sure you're interacting on the comments. You're asking questions, you're telling us that you're here so that we know. And then there's also the other giveaway that Emily will post the link to as well that will be open for 24 hours. So 2 chances to win. You can win what Ken makes, signed by him, plus a prize pack. So very, very fun. I think he's done drying, so let's head back over to the workshop.
We are done drying, and what are we moving on to next?
So
here?
the next thing we're going to do is prepare these flowers to go across the bottom here.
Those are so pretty.
And these are cut and color dies and stamps.
Perfect.
So I stamped this image with a rubber stamp onto my watercolor paper. I have new water media paper. The paper is amazing. It's a double-sided watercolor paper. It's smooth on one side, it's textured on the other side, and it die cuts really well. And it takes inks really well. So I'm going to show you a quick coloring technique. Do you see how these are colored so that they look like they're shaded?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how to do that. It's not hard. And it doesn't take,
it's so easy.
It doesn't take any effort at all.
All right, let's see what you're doing.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint my petals with clear water.
Just plain water.
Just clear water. Because that water is going to act as a vehicle to let my paint move around. Now, I can see that it's pretty wet. I want this to be almost dry, but not hardly dry. So you can
if it's too wet,
then the color blooms.
Okay.
And in some cases that's okay, but I really want to have control with it. So I'm going to get some tangerine here. I'm just going to tap a tiny bit of tangerine powder right on my best ever craft mat. I think the best ever craft mats are on special today too.
I think everything is. You know that all of our customers love this craft mat because it can do everything, you guys. Go ahead.
Now watch what I'm going to just I've got powder on my brush. And it's pretty dry actually. So I'm just going to paint around the center. And then I'm just going to paint a little bit here. Wherever those lines are, kind of
highlight it.
Right, it gives you an idea of where the shadows are.
Perfect.
All right, so you see there. Now
You made that easy as well, right? Just follow the lines.
Yeah, follow the lines. It's kind of like color by numbers.
That's right.
I'm going to rinse my brush.
Okay.
Because I want a clean brush to do this blending. And then I'm going to dry it on my pants.
Naturally.
But I dry the brush out a little bit because that way it's got can work with the water that's on here. And then I'm just going to color this, really, just by dragging the brush on the surface of the paper. So do you see how that shades it?
I thought you used additional color, but you're just pulling the color you already put down.
It's just shading with the color that's already there. Because when you watercolor, the white that you see to blend with is already on your paper because your paper's white. That's why I love this paper. It's super ultra bright white.
So pretty.
So see how easy now it looks like you've got that shading there? And it really is not. It's just you let the color burst and the water do the work for you.
I like it. Make it easy.
Now I'm going to snip this out real quick. This won't be very exciting on the video.
I was going to ask you.
Snipping, what is the craft mat made of? We had a question on chat. What do you know?
Yes, it's magic material from outer space.
End of story.
And I can't tell you anything else.
It's a super secret.
But it's really cool because it's heat resistant.
It is a rubber type, right?
And it has a special weight of watercolor paper.
Yeah, I think it's my water media paper, and I think it's 120 pounds, something like that.
So it's a thicker.
It's heavyweight paper.
Yeah.
You know, like Colorburst works best on watercolor paper or on like really heavy cardstock. You need to have like a really heavy stock to. What makes it work is if the color sits on top of the paper, it looks really good.
You don't want it to absorb.
Right, if it absorbs in, then like it's not as bright.
Yeah.
So
Because you want it to move around the paper,
it needs to move on the tables. I mean, move on the paper, so it needs to like sit on top. Now, I've done something kind of creative with these dies. Like it's a mandala design, but I just want to use the flowers, so I snip them out. So now look, I've got poppy blooms and buds that I can set aside, and I can use those for something else.
Absolutely.
And I've used them for lots and lots of other things. Like these little things can be umbrellas. And in one class, we even used all these little buds as Christmas tree lights. Because when you paint it with Colorburst, they look like Christmas tree lights.
Oh my gosh, I love that. There's so many possibilities with this one die and stamp. So
I'm going to color the center of this flower, and just real quick, just so it's nice and dry.
It's nice and
And I'm going to use chartreuse. And you might think that's a little like an odd color choice, but chartreuse is really, it's a green.
I like
and
it.
if you look at like inside of a flower,
Yeah.
the little pieces
Yeah.
are yellow and
Yep.
green and white.
So it's not crazy at all. It makes perfect sense. You're right on it, Ken.
You could,
And I have a quick question
Okay.
over here. When you went in with the orange originally, did that have to be dry before you went in with the damp brush? That's
No.
what someone's asking. Okay.
You want it to be wet so that the pigment, but just slightly wet, so that the pigment can move on the water on your paper. So now I'm going to color that. So see how like the chartreuse has a little bit of yellow in it and a little bit of green.
That's really pretty.
Now
Now what? What do we do next?
we're going to start putting
Gorgeous
foam
cut
dots.
flowers.
We're going to put foam dots on these.
Okay.
And I've got foam dots
Gotta
here.
love a good foam dot. Add some dimension, add a pop. Gotta love it, right?
Yeah. I'm going to show you really quick while you're doing that. I'm going to do
Yeah.
a thing to show you how to finish a project that you make. A lot of times we forget about the edges. And I'm going to use one of my Click It ink pads to ink the edges so that it goes all the way around. And see how that makes it look really finished?
Love that.
See, it like just takes the color that you've got on the surface of your project and goes around the edge. And that's like one of the little tricks that's going to make your work look really finished. And if you want to, since this is like on the Click It ink pad is on a pivoting head, you could kind of, like just a little bit around the front edge of it to give it a little itty bit of a border.
I mean, the Click It, so easy. And that color, what color is that? Is it?
This is turquoise.
Actually, I like it.
I knew it was your
I'm
favorite
like, Ken,
color.
what color is that? It's
So it's
beautiful.
turquoise.
Love it.
Okay, so let's
These
see.
need backs pulled off.
Look how
of it.
fast you are.
I mean, the backs need pulled off, but I'm just sticking here. So the Click Its are also on sale. So if you guys are loving those, you can pick those up as well. And like you said, they kind of just help finish your project by adding that extra pop of color. This one is good to go. Take our little papers off here. And then it's just kind of the final hurrah here for these.
Well, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to add a sentiment to it. And the sentiment is, she dwelt among the untrodden ways.
Oh.
But I'm going to ask you to cut those apart while I stick the flowers on. And then you could lightly do the edges with
You
your
want
favorite
each word
color.
cut apart?
Do
Or
it
just-
like she dwelt among the two each.
each, okay.
Yeah, or however you want to do it.
Just do this.
And I'm just sticking on the flowers right now.
You want this big, short?
Yeah, that's good. Shorten it a little bit.
Shorten a little bit, okay.
Yeah.
Is this a stamp? Did we just print this off of a
You
computer?
know what? I just printed it on my computer to my printer because like it would be probably pretty uncommon to find that sentiment. It's actually the first line of a poem from Wordsworth.
Look at you.
And so like I think of those poems a lot in the spring because like he wrote a lot about daffodils and springtime themes.
So it all comes together.
And I like to
there's
use-
a theme here, people.
I like to use literary little clues in my work for some reason. I don't know why.
I like it.
So I'm going to just lightly put.
Just to kind of add a little
Yep,
pizzazz.
just to make it
Everything needs,
stand out.
everything needs a little pizzazz, right?
You know, I was so like thinking that we wouldn't be able to do this because this is normally like a 3-hour workshop.
Oh, wow.
And look, like we've done it in about 30 minutes. How'd that happen?
Gosh. Well, while you're kind of finishing that, I might kick it over to Emily and
Okay.
see what people are kind of commenting or saying over from her end. So, Emily, what's going on?
Hey, we have a couple of questions for Ken. The first one is, I know these products are water-based and they will react with water. Do you have a certain way that you keep something permanent or protect a finished product? And then there was also a question about your mixed media board. Is it smooth? Is it textured? Kind of what's the feel of it?
On the first question, yes, you can make color burst permanent. There are a couple of ways you can do it.
Okay.
There's a wax that you can use to wax the surface of a card or a mixed media piece that you're doing. There's one that's called thin glaze and one that's called something else, but it's like a waxing solution. And
Does it harden then when it
well,
dries?
no, it's almost like paste wax. You know, like min wax.
Oh, yeah.
So put that on there.
Yeah.
I've even done it with furniture polish, like oil, like out of a sprayer.
Yeah.
I shouldn't tell you that, but like you can.
Hey, whatever works. Right?
And another way you can do it, and I like doing this, is if you mix color burst with Mod Podge or like gel medium, that makes it permanent on something that you want to work
right.
with.
Put on
So
my
if you
edge.
mix it with a permanent medium or even white acrylic paint,
Yeah.
you can make it permanent.
I like it.
And then the feel of the front of this board is smooth. It's a smooth board. It's actually covered with watercolor paper, so it's very, very smooth. Now I'm just putting on the words here, and I think we'll put these words. Let's see. You never see this happen before. I just made a mistake.
No, it's fine.
Or I just want to reposition it.
It's fine. You have to make sure it's perfect, right?
I see. I like those together.
Yeah.
She dwelt among the uncommon ways. Now I've got one last finishing technique that we're going to do here in the turquoise sky. I have something here called a pipette. Have you ever used this before?
Isn't it is it kind of like a science thing? I feel like I
So,
used it
yeah.
like in high school, like in like science class, like lab.
So
like
it
that,
is.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a kind of like an eyedropper. And what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is I'm going to like go in and I'm going to add some tiny drops of water to this turquoise sky. And the reason I'm doing that is it will lift color out. And you could do this with your hands too. If you want to just fling water on there, it would be fine.
Oh, I see. You
Or
want the droplets.
a lot of people will also, you can take a brush like this and like do some
yeah.
little drops like that, and that's fine. It will make it. You could even take your misting bottle and use the adjustable nozzle,
Adjust it
so you get like little bubbles coming out or like little sprays, and then you could just spritz over that. Now, I have to let that sit for about a minute, because what's happening now, the water and the pigment are interacting. And the pigment's saying to the water, like, hey, I like you, let's dissolve. and so right now they're kind of like having a chemical reaction, and the pigment's
So
dissolving.
much science involved in this.
It
I
is.
like it.
Well, a lot of art is science because you
Yeah.
have to understand how to use the mediums.
Yeah.
If you hear things in here today, we have dogs. Molly's here, and she's playing now. So I've let it sit for about a minute.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to take my paper towel and I'm going to roll that right over.
In true
And can you
Ken
see
fashion,
how
the
that?
whole roll.
Can you see how that now?
That
I'm
looks
going to flip it around
awesome,
so you can
Ken.
see. And look, just like that.
Yeah.
We did a free workshop in about 15 minutes.
I love that. That is so gorgeous, and the fact that you were able to step it out for us shows that it's totally approachable. Even if you've never
Yeah.
used watercolors before, you make it look so simple, and I love the outcome and obviously the colors because they're very bright and colorful. So, thank you so much,
Thank
Ken,
you.
for joining us today.
No, before we move on.
Oh wait, just kidding.
There are a lot of questions. How did those butterflies appear? What did you do? They missed it. So if you could repeat that so we make sure we're catching their questions. And then before we end, if there's anything else, we're watching. So, but the butterflies is the number one thing I'm seeing.
So that's a really easy technique. It's called a resist technique. And I prepared the board by taking my butterfly stamp. It's one of my studio line stamps. And I stamped it onto the mixed media board with watermark or VersaFine ink. And then I sprinkled it with clear embossing powder and then heat set the embossing powder. So that leaves a butterfly image on the mixed media board that when you put water on it, the water doesn't stick there, it resists. And then it leaves that image almost like as a ghost image on the surface of your work. So it's easy to do. You've probably done it already in some other project.
Very cool. Anything else, Kate?
I think we're gonna do a cat next.
Oh, are we
You're
divided?
going to do the cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
have time?
aren't we?
Yeah.
No? Yes? No?
Yes,
We can do it real quick. Yeah.
Okay, let me
Let's
give
do
me
it.
like
We
half
got
a
people
second.
here.
Talk
All right,
and let
we're
me
gonna-
find
we're gonna do
because
the
I have
cat, you
it
guys.
already prepped and set up.
All right, let's-
But you have to give me a minute.
Okay, so I want to let everyone know the other thing that I'm seeing in the comments is full supply list. We have curated all of these supplies on Blitsy.com. Emily has posted that link a few times. We'll also put it in the description once we're not live anymore. So we've put them all in one spot. The color burst, the mats, the liquid metals, the dyes, the stencils, the everything. So everything you've seen here, they're all on special today, one of our daily deals. So you're gonna find the best prices. Someone was asking, can you find this stuff at Michael's? You cannot, but you can find it on Blitsy.com. So check it out. We'll put it on the link again so you can see, but keep asking questions. We're gonna run through painting with stencils in really quick. He's just getting set up. So how's it going over there? You ready? You need a few minutes?
I'm almost there.
Well, for those of you that are just joining, once again, this will be on our Facebook page, so you can replay it. So if you've missed any of the steps, you can go back and you can watch the rebroadcast of this. But Ken just showed us how to create this gorgeous piece of artwork here using his color bursts, his liquid metals, his, what are these, the cut and color stamps and dyes. So we have a really gorgeous effect that we got here. And Ken showed us step by step, so like I said, you can totally replay this and do it again later on. So moving along, we'll go to the cat stencil here that you're going to show us kind of how this works, right?
You're going to love making this because it's really fun. And in fact, like I'm going to show you another one. Look back here. I took 4 of them and I did it on one of the 12 by 12 boards and made, that one's called Mr. Warhol's cat because it's kind of pop arty.
Yeah.
So mixed media board, and I've got a stencil here, and you can see I've already used a stencil with black ink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my stencil right on that mixed media board.
Does this cat have a name? Do we have a name for this cat?
He's a colorful cat.
He's a colorful cat.
I'm starting to think we should call it Chloe.
Oh, Chloe. Look at you. I'm like, Hector, what are we naming this cat? Chloe the cat.
So I've got, this is water resistant ink. It's a solvent based ink.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the outline down so whenever I watercolor over it, the ink's not going to run. Does that make sense?
That would be a disaster.
And this is so easy. Look, I mean, this is also like a cute thing that kids would like to do.
Yeah.
But I love the look of this because it's like really graphic and kind of modern.
Like, and here it almost looks like you took like a pen and just kind
I
of.
did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. At the end, I went in and highlighted it then with black paint and white paint.
Ah, because like it does have that kind of like scratch look to it, but that's how you achieve that with an actual pen. I say this is like a magical ink pad here.
It is a magical ink
Look
pad.
at that.
So this will take me just a couple of
So
seconds.
there's really no rhyme or reason. You're just kind of rubbing, filling in.
And I'm not even like real, I really just want to make sure that I get the outline down.
Gotcha.
Because since we're going to highlight over it at the end, we'll,
You just
basically
kinda
I'm
wanna
just
see where
using
you're-
outline.
Gotcha.
And a lot of artists over history have used stencils to create paintings. So this isn't anything, you know, like they would use the stencil to get their basic outline and then do the other part.
Use their
Yeah.
creativity. What ink is this?
It's a stays on. So now, see, we've got a colorful cat background.
Colorful cat.
And your stencil is going to get mucky like that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, it'll still work fine.
Just shows that you love it, right?
Now, I'm going to paint upside down for this. Is that all right?
It's fine.
So, one thing that I like to do is a little trick here. You see how there's a stripe down his face? I like that because an artist named Henri Matisse painted a portrait of his wife around 1900 that was called Mrs. Matisse. It's also called the green stripe. And Mrs. Matisse had a big green stripe down her face. And I've always really loved that color palette and the idea that he painted his wife with a big green
It's
stripe
fine.
down her
We're
face.
just gonna
So
green line down your face.
we're going to use chartreuse for that.
Love that. Look, here's my inspiration right there. The green line down the face.
It's okay to reach back to another
Yeah,
artist
no,
to
I
get
love it. Find inspiration.
Yeah, for a color palette or for a shape or something. And see, I'm just washing
look at
that
that.
chartreuse right onto.
So you created the design with your brush and water, and then are just filling in the color.
Yep,
So
exactly.
simple.
Now we're going to do background. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. I'm going to just paint. Do you see how I'm like carrying water over?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just carrying water over so I have a nice surface for my color burst to to move around
Yeah.
over.
Redoing the whole side.
I'm going to do about half of it.
Okay.
And this half I'm going to paint with tangerine. So I'm just going to dab some tangerine in there. See how that just
So
bursts
cool.
all over?
Yes, hence the name, right?
And then I'm going to just go back and just wash that in.
That's what I love about color bursts is that you can either lay it down dry with the powder and then add
Right.
water, or you can start with water and then add the powder for different effects. So
It works
I love
either way.
Yeah, that you can do kind of a few different options there.
when you start mixing it with
Yeah.
other mediums like Mod Podge, it's going to really blow your mind away. Now I'm
That
going to
color
grab
is so
another
vibrant.
color here. I'm going to grab, let's see,
What do you
else
have in your
we
bag of tricks
here?
there, Ken?
I've always got something in my bag of tricks.
Like-
I really want fuchsia.
Fuchsia, I think there might be a fuchsia.
I've got one.
You got one? Okay.
So I'm going to just do the same thing again. I'm going to paint with water, and we're just doing the background. And this little technique is going to show you like how to ombre a color into another color. So we're going to go from turquoise, from a tangerine to fuchsia, and it's going to look like a smooth and seamless blend or wash of color. Because you see how I've got that water there?
Yeah.
That's going to let us like move that color and blend it and give it that ombre background.
Oh my gosh, look at the bright pop that has. I love that. Move it along.
Yeah, and see now how like where those colors are touched, they kind of just naturally
Yeah.
blend. Let your pigment and your water do the work for you. Don't try to do it. Let the water and the
Yeah.
pigment do the work. It's like that's
You're like, it knows what it's doing.
yeah,
Let
it knows
let
what
it do
it's
its
doing.
job.
All right, so now we're gonna paint the cat, and you can choose colors. Let's paint turquoise for part of them because that'll really pop right there.
I like the turquoise. You know that, Ken.
So I'm gonna just paint water.
But while you kind of get that set up,
Okay.
I'm gonna actually maybe kick it over to Emily and see if people have an opinion on this cat stencil, because I know
Okay.
I know we have a lot of customers and fans that are cat lovers. So Emily, is anyone calling out the cat? Do they need this stencil? What's going on?
I think a lot of people are really loving the cat stencil, might be picking it up today. We are getting some votes for a dog stencil though, so you might need to add that
Already in
next.
the works.
Yeah,
Already in the
is it going to be with Molly?
I'm not gonna say.
Oh, I hope it's with Molly. We had a question about I did include a video in the chat about a video that we did of mixing the color burst with a texture paste, but do you have any experience mixing it with gel mediums or other kind of textured elements?
In fact, here I've got one on the table. This is one of my stencils with a gel medium. And can you see like the texture that gives? And I had planned to go back and paint with water around the gel medium, and enough of the color burst will wick out of the gel medium to color that.
Really?
Yeah, but then this is gonna like keep its like really intense.
That is really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of texture going on with that, and I like the kind of sheen too.
Yeah, like really pops out.
Yeah.
So I've made a couple of little boo-boos here, but it's okay. You know, like watercolor can kind of like have a mind of its own, and see right there, like it kind of like ran a little bit.
It's art, you know?
But I'm not going to worry about it because watch. I can pull it out with just a little blot of the paper towel.
Let your paper towel be your eraser, right?
Exactly. Now this side, I think we should paint a pretty. What do we have there? We have green.
I like that.
We could paint a green there.
It looks like you probably did a little bit of liquid metals on there.
I did. Oh yeah, let's do some liquid metals on there. While this is still wet, you can just like put a couple of drops of liquid metals. Like shake it up really well first.
Shake it up. Let it pop.
And I'm just gonna put it on
Yeah,
the background.
it's just cool how you can see that shimmer to that.
It just gives it like a really cool shimmer, just
Yeah.
a light shine.
All of the layers just keep layering.
I'm glad we did this. I love painting this cat stencil. It's so much fun.
It's so fun.
And see where I'm getting a little bit of bleed out there. That's all right.
But I love it with this cat and with all of your stencils that obviously, you know, using your color burst, you can create different, you know, combinations of colors. You can shade, you can ombre, and totally make the stencil look different every time you use it. I love that. Look at that. You're just kind of pulling.
Yeah, I'm just pulling some color in there. We're going to paint this part lime green.
Oh, grab that lime green.
I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of lime green in there. Remember, a little bit goes a long
right.
way. So we've got a lot of paint right up here.
Now I'm thinking about this dog stencil you're working on. I'm so curious, the inspiration.
You know, what's really hard about that is choosing a breed. Because,
Do you have a favorite breed?
well, I like all dogs,
Yeah.
you know, but like a lot of people are fierce about their dog breeds,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so like, I don't want to make sure that we choose a dog that like everybody's going
We've
to
had
love.
Beagle. We've had a lot of requests for different dogs going on here. I'm glad to hear that there's one in the works. There's so many cat lovers. I think everyone is getting this stencil today. But I vote golden retriever or lab.
Yeah. And you know what? Do you know how cool a Boston Terrier looks?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, you kind of want to think about the textures you're gonna get too. So, when can we expect this? Do we have a?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, all the secrets. Okay.
You know, it might be
It's coming, but we don't
probably
know.
by September.
Okay.
Now, I did a little bit different this time. Before I'd been putting down water. Now I sprinkled color bursts on the dry surface, and I'm just going to use my wet brush to paint that.
So is that going to give you a more vibrant effect, doing kind of the dry and then adding the water, or does it not really matter?
It will give you a little more of a vibrant effect, but I realized that I have a lot of water on the mat board already.
Okay.
And the more water I put on it, the more everything tends to blend.
Gotcha.
Okay, so look how cool that is.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
So now, the next part of this, and we won't have time to do all this while we're on, I need to paint the eyes, and then I'm going to use the lemon yellow for the eyes. And even though lemon yellow, you wouldn't think that a cat has like lemon yellow eyes.
Yes, they can.
Whenever it's on the mat board, it looks really cool.
It does. Pops, that's for sure.
So I'm going to paint his eyes lemon yellow. And then the next step of this would be to let it dry, or dry it with your heat tool. And then we would take a really fine detail brush or a Sharpie, because I like to use a Sharpie.
Why not,
And
right?
just go around all the lines and fill in all the lines. And then go back with a fine detail brush with some white paint and make some highlights for the eyes and a highlight on the nose. And bam!
Bam!
You have
just
a
like
modern
that.
art cat.
That is so much fun. Thank you for adding the cat stencil project for this workshop, because I know it wasn't part of it initially, but we're glad you were able to work that in. Before we leave you, let's see if anyone else has any questions. I don't know, Katie, do you have any, or Emily? I don't know.
Let's go to Emily so she can repeat the giveaway details, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we have a giveaway going on. I'll post the link in the chat. It's been in there a few times, but I'll be sure to post it again. It's the stencils, some that he worked with today, his 3 new 6x6 stencils, his water media paper, and his mixed media artboards, as well as a set of 6 color bursts and one of the pieces of artwork that he created today live with us. I'm going to post the link for the giveaway. You have 24 hours to enter. There's a couple ways to enter. Make sure that you hit that. And then we also have a second giveaway of one of the other pieces he did today for somebody who's been with us interacting here today. So do you want me to do that now? Ready for me to give it away? All right. Our giveaway winner today is going to be Rita Wayman. You are the winner of a Ken Oliver artwork piece that he's going to sign, and we'll get that sent to you. Please email support@blitsy.com with your mailing information, and we will get it sent out to you. So congratulations, Rita.
Yay!
Yay! Congratulations, Rita.
Congratulations, Rita, and thank you to everybody who joined us.
Yeah.
This was so much
So
fun.
much fun.
Thank you guys for asking me.
This was seriously fun, guys. Thank you for joining us. There's still that huge giveaway that'll be open for 24 hours, so good luck in that. We are going to go through all of the comments, and we'll get all of your questions answered that we may have missed live. We're going to do this again next week on Thursday, same time, probably same place, right?
Yeah.
So if you have any requests for our next workshop in Live with Blitsy, let us know again in the comments, and we'll make it happen. So thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye. Have a
Bye.
good day.